So this video is by Shohei Kondo. First time I ever heard this dude, but let me see what he got to say. He's Japanese, so I want to see what his take on what's going on right now.
Really happening. Japanese Prime Minister Shigeru Ishiba is not happy about Assassin's Creed Shadows. Let's watch this.
この今言ういわゆる朝栗問題ということについてお伺いしたいんですが
Did you hear that? He said Asakuri issue, meaning we Japanese keep on talking about this all the time. So Asakuri issue, he didn't explain about Asakuri issue, right?
Asakuri
Because
問題
everyone knows.
明日3月20日にですね、発売予定のフランスの UBI ソフトの株式会社制作のゲームソフトのアサシンクリードシャドウズにですね、ついてなんですけど、海外で先行プレイの動画が YouTube でアップされておりまして、それを拝見いたしますと
That video that went to really viral.
Oh yeah, this was a bad fucking look, because the thing is, you gotta understand something. People from that's non-Western countries, they don't play this. Actually, not even non-Western countries. Like, I don't even think like people from Eastern Europe will fucking tolerate the fact that they desecrate. That's like you trying to desecrate like an Orthodox church in Eastern Europe, because they're typically Eastern Orthodox in that area of the world. Imagine doing this shit to like a Greek Orthodox church or a Russian Orthodox church or some other Orthodox type of, or like a sacred site or like an old type of like landmass or monument or some shit like that. They're gonna fucking say something. And hell yeah, the Japanese or any East Asians are gonna say some shit after you desecrating a sacred temple of theirs. Doesn't matter if it's in game or not. Doesn't make a fucking difference. They're not like us. Alright, they actually appreciate their culture, unlike us.
And I was surprised that there's a lot of
Yeah, and they refuse to be mocked or belittled for it either.
people who think that's okay. I think most of the people doesn't know that's that shrine and altar, I guess. But a lot of Japanese people feel offended about that video.
板手氷津シュラインと実名で私の兵庫県の姫路市の入間の国奏者板手氷津神社が登場します。ゲームの中でですね、主人公の侍は刀を振り回して拝殿内で太鼓や神教、祭壇を粉砕しまして、そして境内にいる向こうの民や神職とおもしき人物などを切りつけ弓を射ったりするような
Oh, I saw that, yeah.
攻撃ができ
They
る
were showing a bunch of fucking videos of him just attacking like people who are of the cloth, not the cloth, but I know it's not, they're not Christians, but people who are of that faith, like shrine uniforms. They were wearing like shrine uniforms and all that.
になっています。
Yeah, that's the thing. They can just disable it, but they made it object that breakable.
私はこの話を聞いてですね、ちょっと地元の神社でもありますので、直接宮司さんにお話を伺いました。当該ゲーム会社からは神社に対しまして、名称の使用許可などの連絡は一切ないということであります。他にも奈良の東大寺などの寺社や古墳などのいわば具体的な映像とか肖像がですね、
Yeah, bro, like when it comes to like graveyards or like places where they bury their dead, Japan does not fuck around at all with that. They honor their fucking dead, and something like that being desecrated, that's a fucking big no-no. And for them and their culture, they do not play that shit at all. I'm glad that they're being called out on this shit, and I hope Ubisoft gets their shit wrong. I hope this game doesn't do well at all. I really hope
許
so.
可で使用されております。本日はですね、大串正樹経産副大臣にお越しいただいておりますが、国内外問わずゲームを楽しむユーザーというのは年々増加しておりますが、ゲーム等における固有施設の映像などをですね、無許可で使用することについてご見解をお伺いしたいと思います。
経済産業省大串副大臣。
Vice
This is
Minister.
just kind of insider note. I know some people that send me this video. So, they didn't use word of Yasuke. Can't talk about that detail, but something really scared concerns me. It's that there's an unspoken rule. You cannot cause other trouble to other ministries. I heard they can't use word of Yasuke.
They can't talk about Yosuke. So what? You can't say, like, you can't bring something from one department to another department in Japan. This is gonna go on YouTube, so please, if anybody knows chat in YouTube, please let me know if that's the case. Like, you can't intermingle or bring problems from one department to another department from the Japanese government. Is that the case? Is that what he's referring to?
Here. If we were Japanese, I think this is one of the biggest concern. And they decided to not to mention about Yasuke. That's what they told me. But my concern is that which ministry get trouble if they use word of Yasuke in here? As a Japanese, that's one of the biggest concern. What's going on, really?
答えいたします。一般的なゲーム制作におきまして、現存する固有名詞等を商用利用する際には、その知的財産を有する個人や団体等に許可を得る必要があるものと認識。
Yep, that's 100% what he just said. You have to get permission from these nations and countries if you want to, you know, mimic or do anything in regards to like their country or their culture, their history. I'm not sure if Ubisoft France did that shit, but if they didn't, they're in a whole lot of trouble. There's no way that they didn't. I don't believe the fact that Ubisoft just went out the way to just do whatever the fuck they wanted to. You know? But then again, Ubisoft is known for just nowadays not giving a shit. They're into this fucking whole woke ideology bullshit, especially when it comes to like shit that has nothing to do with like what do you call it? Like stuff that's European culture. They completely just shit on it. You know? Like, and not just Ubisoft, just anything in general that has anything to do with European or white. They always just just trash and just make it look like demonize it and shit like that. But for some reason, since I've heard that East Asian people, Japanese, Koreans, and Chinese people are considered white adjacent. I don't know what that fucking means, but okay. That means that they could just do whatever the fuck they want, and what the fuck are they gonna do about it? Well, I'm glad Japan is doing something about it now.
認識をしております。知的財産を無許諾で利用されているケースにおきましては、個別の事情によるものであるため、当事者間で協議されるものと承知をしております。その上で、神社側等から相談がございましたら、関係省庁と連携しつつ適切に対応してまいりたいというふうに思います。
加田博之君。
ありがとうございます。今の答弁ありましたようにですね、やっぱり無許可で使用するということはいけないことだと思いますし、本当にこのことについては私もしっかりと注視していきたいと思っております。それでですね、それに伴いまして昨今、コロナ禍の影響も薄れまして、観光客が回復しまして、各地でオーバーツーリズムによるさまざまな問題が生じております。中に神社の鳥によじ登ったりですね、神社の石柱へ落書きするなど、観光客の迷惑行為は観光公害とも言える事態である。
Oh, come on. Are you serious? If you don't know what you just read, he's saying that after the fucking pandemic lifted, there's more tourism coming into Japan. And as a result, there's some fucking tourists are just, you know, just breaking the fucking rules and just graffitiing certain places, like certain shrines or like certain holy sites. I'm like, are you fucking serious? Are there just these bum motherfuckers just coming out of nowhere, just doing just stupid shit like this? Like in any country, you know, the most fucked up thing is, they always do this shit in first world countries. They never do this shit in third world countries or second world countries. They always do this shit in fucking first world nations. Western Europe, South Korea, Japan, they always pull that shit with them. I don't know why, because they believe, but actually I do know why. I think it's because most of the world fucking believe that these people are so passive that they're not going to do anything if you fuck with their shit. That's also that's also the Japanese people's fault too. They need to start, honestly, I'll be real, they need to start like checking these fucking tourists and saying, yo bro, if you're gonna come here, fucking be respectful, bro. Don't just start doing dumb shit like you do in your own fucking country. Alright, we like our country, don't do that shit in ours. And I really hope that Japanese people start like putting their fucking foot down and start, honestly, I don't condone violence, but start cracking some fucking heads and saying, yo bro, don't be coming in here doing the stupid shit in our fucking home, because a country is a person's home too. And it's fucking ridiculous the fact that we have some outsiders or gaijin or kokujin or whatever you want to call them coming here and just fucking their shit up. And shit, there's going to be heavy implications if the government just gets fed up with this shit.
That's also something I've been talking about on my channel. You have a lot of foreigners who do that. I gotta be honest, just because they think Japanese won't fight back, Japanese won't say anything, or they're taking advantage of Japanese politeness or kindness or even shyness. And it's very natural.
Yeah, they believe that they can just walk all over them. They think that because they're polite, or that they're passive and shit like that. Or some people might think that they're cowardly or just pussies. No, pull that shit. Go. I wish they would do that shit in China. I wish they would do that shit in South America. I wish they would do that shit in like some countries in Africa, Sub-Sahara or North Africa or the Middle East. Let's see what'll happen to them. They're never gonna fucking do it because they know they'll get their shit rocked. They'll never. But you could easily do it to first world nations because, you know, first world nations, people are more fucking passive. They're more cowardly. And I don't know why they're like this. I'm gonna be honest with you. It's, I hate seeing that. I hate the cowardice of people who come from first world nations. The passiveness, the turning the other way and just ignoring the fucking problem. Kind of like being on a New York City subway station. You sit there and you fucking see all types of bullshit like bums or like fights going on. People are just sitting there like, like ignoring this shit like it's not like it doesn't exist instead of calling that shit out. Like seriously, bro. It's mostly in Western Europe and in fucking East Asia, South Korea, Japan specifically.
As a Japanese, if we see that game, we feel like, oh, they can do that because they think Japanese won't say no.
私は当該のゲーム機の中で、NPC、ノンプレイヤーキャラクターというものに対してとかですね、承諾された承諾なく使用された施設の映像の中で攻撃や破壊する行為が現実世界で模倣される迷惑行為につながるのではないかと懸念しております。先ほどの神社の宮司さんや関係者の皆様もそれを心配されておりました。もちろんですけど、これ申し上げたいのは表現の
Okay, so they think that they're gonna pull like how us here in the United States, we thought that Grand Theft Auto would be like a gateway to like kids or like just people in general doing stupid shit like killing each other, running each other over. I mean, that's kind of a stretch. But if this guy is saying that they're doing a lot of dumb shit like graffitiing and all that bullshit, then I still would say it's a bit of a stretch. I don't believe that, firing arrows or destroying or desecrating like holy sites in Japan is the cause of that game. That's just my opinion.
自由というものはもちろん尊重されなければいけません。だが一方でですね、長い間地域の方々に培われた文化に対しまして敬意を持って接する、その土地の文化を軽んじる行為は私は慎むということは大事なことだと考えております。例えばですけど、長年経緯やですね信仰されてきたフランスのノートルダム大聖堂とかですね、イスラム教のコーランなどにですね、
that's a good example.
するようなですね、映像を
Let me go back again to hear that again.
長年経緯やですね信仰されてきたフランスのノートルダム大聖堂とかですね、イスラム教のコーランなどにですね、礼を失するようなですね、映像を使われていたらどんな気持ちにその現地の人たちはなるか、これはもう言わずがもがなでございます。
Yeah, he's absolutely right. Yeah. Especially with the Muslims. If you disrespect the Quran, which is like the Muslim Bible, the Muslims will have your ass. They refuse to be mocked by anybody. They refuse to have the religion mocked. The thing about the French people are, like I mentioned before, Western Europeans are incredibly passive. I don't know why they're like this. I hope they fucking change and stop being so fucking bitch made. But I guarantee you, when Notre Dame fucking fell because of that fucking fire, there weren't that many fucking people like saying like, oh my god, this is terrible. Oh mon dieu, c'est terrible. Most people weren't saying that shit in Paris. I mean, not Paris, in France. Most people were not like outraged about that shit. Very few French people were, but there were a lot of people in France, like a lot of non-ethnic French people were cheering and revering the fact that fucking church fell, which is fucking disgusting in my honest opinion. Like, but when it comes to that, what he just mentioned, when it comes to the Quran, yeah, the Muslims will not allow their holy book or the religion or any holy sites to be desecrated. He's absolutely right.
Right.
本当にこれは私思うんですけども、総理就任後初のお国入りにですね、まず地元の八頭町の渡神社を参拝しました石破総理にお伺いしたいんですけども、ゲーム SNS 等によりまして多文化を軽んじる行為やそれに伴う観光勾配についてご主見をお伺いしたいと思います。
石破内閣総理大臣。
これ法的にどう
Oh, Prime Minister? Yo, this guy's like basically the head honcho. He's like, the Prime Minister is basically like the president of Japan. He's not like the emperor. The emperor's just a figurehead, but he is like basically the president.
するかということにつきましては、経産省あるいは文科省、あるいは外務省とよく協議をしてまいりたいと思っておりますが、神社に落書きするなんぞというのはもってのほかの話であってですね。
Oh, this just happened. That happened before.
Graffiti found on
そ
a
れはもう
prestigious
その国に対する侮辱に他ならない、私は思っておるところでございます。自衛隊をイラク・サマーワに出しますときに、もちろんイスラム教を信じるとかそういう話ではありませんが、イスラム教のしきたりとか、そういうものは現地に派遣される自衛官たちにきちんと習得していくようにということをお願いをいたしました。例えば料理を全部食べちゃわないといけない。日本ではみんな食べないと申し訳ないみたいなことがありますが、じゃあ他の国では全部食べちゃうと足りなかったという意思表示になってなんと失礼だということになるとかですね。それ表層的なものかもしれませんが、少なくともその国の文化とか宗教とかそういうものに対する尊敬の念を持つということは私は当然のことだと思っておりますし、そうでなければ外交というのもできないと思っております。
Here you go. He said that. Without that respect, diplomacy doesn't work. Ubisoft. Listen. this is our prime minister, not just one unknown grifter is talking. Japanese prime minister is speaking.
Yeah, the head honcho.
のことだと思っておりますし、そうでなければ外交というのもできないと思っております。我が国としてそういうことを率先垂範していかねばなりませんし、仮にもそうですが、そういうことがあったら泣き寝入りはしない。日本国民としてこういうことは許さないということも発信をしていくことは極めて重要なことだと考えておるところでございます。
からひろゆき君。
Yeah.
I feel relieved, but please do something.
まさに総理のおっしゃる通りで有形無形の文化とか風習というものに対してですね、やっぱりこれはお互いがお互い敬意を持ってやらなければ私もいけないと思っております。
And that's something what I've noticed about the West is that we fucking do not respect shit that comes from other cultures. Not to the same extent as the Japanese. Oh, especially if it comes from European culture, white culture, people will always shit on that and desecrate that shit hands down, and the people are so passive about it and just let it happen. Maybe not so much Eastern Europe, but the rest of your Western Europe, yeah. You know, the Japanese are basically asking, we respect you, you respect us back. We respect your culture, you respect our culture. You know, and they're absolutely right. What Ubisoft did was fucked up.
先ほどの当該ゲームソフトにおいては、日本の部分の文化というものとか施設というものとか、無許可でしかもそういう形で破壊できるようになっている。じゃあ他国の部分はどうなのかというと、それはできないようになっている。なぜ日本だけなっているのかとかですね、これもやっぱり私問題だと思うんですね。この点についても全てが全てっていうんではなく、なぜ日本だけということについても、私は疑問を持っている一人でございます。そのことについてもまた引き続きですね、なかなか表現の自由と絡めたお話であるかもしれませんが、誤った意味での表現の自由というのは私は許されないと思いますので、ぜひともその点につきましてはまた経産省ともども外務省についてもご協力をお願いしたいと思っております。
ありがとうございます。
Yeah, I like what he just said, bro. Like he mentioned, it's kind of like these people, the Japanese people, they respect other cultures every time. Like, let's just say they're trying to make a video game, for example. They will do all the research possible in order to get as much of the intricate details as they possibly can. But for some odd reason, most, not all Westerners, most of these companies or these Western companies will not reciprocate the same feeling as the Japanese do to them. And it's irritating. And this guy mentioned they were peeved about it. It's irritating. It's the fact that why do we show so much respect, but yet you can't show us the same respect for our culture, just like we show respect for your culture. You know? And I've been noticing that a lot when it comes to Western nations, especially in America, Canada, now Western Europe, like France. Seriously. Like, you guys don't give a shit about anything. You know, and it's about time. I'm glad Japan's called their ass out on it, and I sure as hell hope that this game doesn't do as good as Ubisoft, you know, tried to gas it up for. You know, I hope that this game bombs, because I'd heard that if this game fucking bombs, Ubisoft is completely fucked.
Yeah, do you remember when I said like a butterfly effect, like when my video was deleted? And because of that video, a lot of people reacted. And like the making the wave, right? I was inspired some couple of videos, and I started making a video because I see a lot of comments a lot of Japanese comments that was called racist or liar, or you are not Japanese or kind of stuff. And I made that video. The first video of Assassin's Creed. And after I made Assassin's Creed Shadow video in English, a lot of people in the West talking about it. Or Japanese is actually mad. And then everyone's small voices became really big and finally reached to Prime Minister.
Yeah, so when the Japanese start to call this shit out, because I guarantee you there were other people who were bitching about it. I guarantee you other people were complaining about this fucking game when it came out, but due to the fact that it probably wasn't Japanese people saying anything about it, they just disregarded. They were probably thinking, oh look, they were probably thinking that, oh, well, they probably don't like black people being like in a fucking video game or some bullshit like that. Yosuke, like I heard about Yosuke, like Japan doesn't even clarify or like verify that he was actually, you know, a samurai. I don't think it was a samurai either. I mean, I don't know. The only thing I do know is that he was, I believe, a slave brought in by the Portuguese when they went into Japan, like somewhere in the 1600s, I think. You know, but I don't think they acknowledge the fact that he was not acknowledged, but I don't think they believe that he was a samurai. But due to the fact that us Westerners, we like to fucking gas up and like are intrigued, like, oh my god, look at this shit. Oh, a black samurai, let's make a fucking game out of this. Let's do whatever. You have other people coming in and saying, yo, this game doesn't make any sense. Like, what the hell's going on? They call them racist and shit like that. But Japanese people are not calling their ass out on it, and they can't say shit about it, though. All these people who are, like, big upping this game, the creators of this game, like, the game designers, all that stuff, they're really, like, a little bit, like, hush-hush now. Initially, in the beginning, no, they weren't. They were, like, saying, oh, whatever, like, mind your fucking business, we're gonna make this, oh, you're racist, sexist. They just like to throw the whole woke trope at them. But now that it's gone to this point, to the highest echelon of the Japanese government, now they're, like, really, really backtracking. They have to. And now I heard that what's going on right now they're making Yosuke, like, gay and getting into a gay relationship with someone who's, like, non-binary. Yeah, it's not a good look, bro. This game's cooked.
But it's not finished yet. It's not finished yet. Let's see what they can do. And then I'll do what I can do. You do what you can do. You have a happy day today.
Oh, they can do that? Okay.
Thank you for watching. Please don't forget to...
Dude, with all the shit that's going on, like, shout out to Shohei Kondo. Good fucking video. Let me like it real quick. I am afraid of what Japan is going to do next. I'm afraid that Japan might, you know, with all the shit that he just mentioned, with the game just not respecting their culture, then you have the tourists going into Japan, just completely graffitiing their holy sites. Then you also have fucking streamers as well. Because I know that streamers are becoming a nuisance in Japan. Western streamers just going over there and just doing dumb shit. They're also becoming very fucking not liked in Japan. I'm afraid that Japan, I really hope they don't do this. You know, I really hope they don't commit what's something called sakoku. Like, I had to look it up actually. Sakoku means like a period of isolation. So like locking down their country, isolating their country from like tourists, like anti-tourism, whatever. Like, they'll still do business with like trade and stuff like that, but when it comes to tourism, they're like, nah, we ain't, you know, we're not accepting it. You know, they're gonna probably do the same, like a makeshift version of like the period of isolation, like from the 1600s. I really hope they don't fucking do that. I really hope that I hope that these dumb fucks get fucking like checked if they do that dumb shit in Japan, like what happened to Johnny Somalia in Korea. Or like some of these other dudes that, oh no, Johnny Somalia did get like decked in Japan. Or like people in gender start calling them out and start whooping their ass. I do also remember that there was a streamer in Japan who was streaming or some shit like that. I don't know, he was in like the sketchy area, and the Japanese there started to fucking wail on his ass. They start to get at him for doing stupid shit. You know? So I really hope that they start, you know, buckling down and start calling their ass out on this shit.